Hello YouTubers, it's been a while since I did a video. This is my, it's my 2016 M8000. I just bought it. It's used. It's 2,000 miles, so just the point, just to go through it. You know what I mean? I should do a video on how to change the plugs, but most guys know how to do that if you're brave enough to take it apart. Change the plugs, clean the exhaust valves, adjust the throttle cables, all need to be done. Original plugs, I'm sure the exhaust valves were never done. They were pretty dirty. They needed it. I'm looking at gearing it up, but just not right now. So I was just inspecting the chain and everything else, making sure it had stock gearings. It's got 1950s in this thing. It has 7-tooth drivers, 3¼ inch track. So all that fun stuff. So I drive a lot of flatland, hardly ever go to mountains. So I might throw some videos in about changing the gears on these things. I like to gear it up a bit. Apparently it only does like 78 miles an hour, which isn't fast enough. So I was just gonna do a little tip on what to do. I've talked to a few guys, and in the top here there is an actual double bearing behind it. I should have showed you guys. I was told it's a good idea to take a grease needle and gently push it through the first bearing, and you can see I can show you the back here. It's actually a double bearing, tapered bearing. Some guys say not to grease it because it might not vent, but fuck, whatever. The problem is these chain case are so tall that it hardly gets enough oil to oil that bearing. And it needs enough oil to go through this bearing to feed the back bearing. So that is the failure point on these for high mileage. I'm not a big high mileage guy, but I talked to a couple guys that are, and that was their advice. To make that back bearing last, anytime you have this apart, just put some grease in the back bearing. It's gonna make it last longer. They're a bitch to change. The reason I'm even making this video, because this is pretty straightforward. Anybody brave enough to take all this stuff apart, you know what I mean, you got the basic knowledge. Snap ring, snap this together and keep these gears in place. As I snapped this bottom one in, I noticed it was not seated. So I was lucky enough to find a piece of pipe that was just the perfect size, and I just gave her a couple taps, make sure this is down, snapped in. It's going to cost you a lot of fucking money if that walks out, wrecks a chain, probably case. We all know the back side of the damn thing is your oil case and stuff. So this is my little video. Hope it helps some of you out. Just make sure those snap rings are in, because they'll ruin your day. So I thought it was in, double checked it. No, it's not all the way in. Take a light, look down there. If you look closely, you could actually see it's seated in. All right, so I can show you guys. Just make sure it's seated in. Very important. This thing, you don't want it walking back and forth. Right, so yeah, hope I'll help some of you guys. Just make sure you tap it. I tried to tap with a screwdriver, wasn't having good luck, so I found a piece of pipe that was perfect. I just give it a couple taps with a hammer and just pop right in. They're that tight of a fit. The top one, no problem. It actually has a little bit of play, so you know it's in, right? So just make sure your snap rings are in. Doesn't matter if you're doing bearings and wheels and stuff like that. I always take a screwdriver and tap them around. Make sure they're seated, especially a gear like that. Like the old school ones used to bolt on. These don't. My last sled was diamond drive, so I'm back to the old chains and gears and stuff again. So I'll maybe post some more videos of some of the stuff. I should have for cleaning exhaust valves and stuff, but it's pretty straightforward, right? There's enough videos out there already of guys cleaning exhaust valves and adjusting the cables and all that shit. So yeah, I hope I help a couple of you guys. Just take your time, go through it. If you're not sure, double check, watch a video, something like that. Make sure it's put back together right. The worst thing is rushing that shit. You're sitting on the trail, you know, broken sled. Costs you a bunch of money. So, all right. Have a good Christmas.